What's going on, guys? It's Greg here, aka NYPrepper. It is Monday, August 26th, 2024, and I have an emergency alert to share with you guys. Right now it is 17:09 Eastern Time here in the United States, and we have some major breaking news coming in from Eastern Europe, the Middle East, and Asia. So last night there was a massive missile attack and drone attack on Ukraine. Russia launched hundreds of missiles and drones at Ukraine. They seem to have targeted Ukraine's energy infrastructure, and Ukraine has had to institute emergency power outages now, but they hit western Ukraine particularly hard. The cities of Lviv, Ivano-Frankivsk, and Ternopil, Vinnytsia, and Khmelnytsky and Lutsk were hit very, very hard. And actually, some kind of unknown object flew into Poland last night during this missile attack, and the Polish military is now searching for this object. But we also have some very concerning information coming out of Asia. So Japan's defense ministry said yesterday that it had to scramble fighter jets to intercept a Chinese reconnaissance plane that briefly breached their airspace on Monday morning. The aircraft was identified as a Y-9 reconnaissance plane that flew over the Danzhou Islands to the west of the southern island of Kyushu between 11:29 a.m. and 11:31 a.m. local time. The ministry said it was the first time a Chinese military aircraft had breached Japan's airspace, and that the government had lodged a strong protest against Beijing through diplomatic channels. Okay, so this is not just flying into Japan's exclusive economic zone or air defense identification zone. This was actually going into Japan's airspace, okay, over the Danzhou Islands. It flew there for 2 minutes. Very, very serious. We also have some more aggression by China in the Philippines. The Philippine government slammed China today for repeated aggressive, unprofessional, and illegal actions in the South China Sea after a string of clashes and incidents on air and at sea over the past week. The Philippines National Maritime Council said Chinese aircraft made unsafe maneuvers against a civilian aircraft conducting patrols over the Scarborough Shoal and the Subi Reef. On Sunday, Chinese vessels also blocked, rammed, and fired water cannons against a government fisheries vessel while doing a resupply mission to Filipino fishermen in the Sabina Shoal. So China is really getting aggressive against the Philippines and Japan. We currently have 2 doomsday planes up in the air and 2 nuclear bombers up in the air over the continental United States. Here you can see a screenshot of the 2 doomsday planes, and they were looping near Missouri, Kansas, and Nebraska. They took off from Offutt Air Base and what appears to be Whiteman Air Base, and they were just looping around this afternoon. So 2 doomsday planes in the air, guys. That is a lot. And the last 4 days, we've been seeing on average about 2 doomsday planes per day. Most of the time, these doomsday planes have been flying to and from Colorado Springs, which is a doomsday bunker for VIPs. Okay, so our nuclear forces are on high alert. And before I continue with the breaking news, I just want to mention the sponsor for this video, which is AFRY. AFRY is doing a 40% sale on their solar generators. And to get the deal, you just got to go to afry.com. But you can also use my promo code NYPrepper10 to get an additional 10% off on top of the 40% off, okay? So this is a no-brainer, guys. 50% off of all of AFRY's solar generators through the next 2 weeks until September the 8th. And these planes are for the president and the vice president and the defense secretary. During a nuclear war, they would go airborne and command the U.S. nuclear arsenal from these planes. And we also have some very interesting activity off the coast of Seattle this afternoon. Here you can see 2 P-8 Poseidon sub-hunters that were active off of the Olympic Peninsula. And there was actually an aerial refueler that was refueling them. So these sub-hunters were active here for a very long time. And actually, in the Seattle area, in the Puget Sound, you have one of the most important bases in the country here. You have Bangor Kitsap, which is where we keep 2/3 of our nuclear-armed submarines, and we also have Trident missile storage over there where we store all of our submarine-launched ballistic missiles. So it's very likely that enemy subs are scouting out this area so they can see where our subs are, or maybe to launch a preemptive strike on them. If we do go to nuclear war, they could quickly destroy our subs that are sitting at the docks there. And we also had Russian doomsday planes airborne last night during the massive strike on Ukraine. Here you can see 2 of them going to Yekaterinburg, and then they came back after the strike was over later today. We also had a U.S. Air Force AWACS plane go up into the northern part of Alaska, which is very unusual, and they could be looking for possibly Russian missiles approaching us here in North America over the Arctic, or they could be looking for Russian naval activity, sub-activity. So I want to just update you on the situation in Poland with this unknown object. So apparently this unknown object crossed into Poland near the Ukrainian city or town of Czerwonogród, and the Polish military is searching for it, and they haven't revealed any details yet. Polish F-16s were airborne at the time that this object flew into Poland. The object was confirmed by radio location by at least 3 radar stations, according to Major General Maciej Klisz, operational commander of the Polish Armed Forces. So they tracked this thing with 3 radar stations, and this is the area where this object crossed into. You can see Czerwonogród, this little town right here, north of Lviv. Okay, this is in western Ukraine. This is Poland. This is Ukraine. So just north of Lviv is where this thing flew into Poland. And the incident occurred at 06:43 local time. The object probably entered Polish airspace and then disappeared after about 25 kilometers in Polish territory, Maciej Klisz added. And Lieutenant Colonel Jacek Goryszewski informed that over 70 soldiers of the Polish Territorial Defense Forces from Helm and Lublin are taking part in the search operation. Currently, the search area is limited to the Tyszowce commune, exactly to the northwest of the town of Tyszowce. The search is also ongoing from the air using helicopters, he specified. When asked about the type of the aerial object, he indicated that the flight trajectory, its speed, and the altitude at which it was moving allow us to assume that it was a UAV of the Shahid type, which the Russians used to attack Ukraine. So they are saying that this was an Iranian drone that flew into Poland just north of Lviv. Okay, here's Czerwonogród, and then this is the town where the Polish military is currently conducting a search for this object, okay, just to the northwest of Tyszowce. Okay, so this is probably about 20 miles, 15 to 20 miles into Polish territory that this drone flew into and supposedly crashed. I mean, we don't know if Poland shot it down. I would imagine that they probably shot it down because they had F-16s in the air, so they might have shot it down maybe in this wooded area here. They felt that maybe shooting it down in the woods here would be the safest thing to do, and now they're looking for the wreckage, and they just don't want to tell the Polish people that they had to shoot down a Russian drone in their airspace during this attack because people would panic, NATO would freak out. So they're maybe just minimizing the situation. But this would be the fourth or fifth time that a Russian missile or some kind of aerial object flew into Poland since the war started. Now, just a couple of days ago, up in the northern part of Poland here near Kaliningrad, in this area of Poland here, there was some type of an unknown object that landed in a forest here, and it came from Kaliningrad, and they say that it was some kind of a reconnaissance object that Russia sent into Poland. So to me, it sounds like Russia is testing Poland's air defenses, because they've already sent several missiles into Poland, and now they're sending drones into Poland, it seems like. So they want to see what Poland's air defenses are capable of. They're testing Poland, okay? This is very, very concerning. And Russia has also sent reconnaissance drones into northern Germany. They were sending these tiny drones to spy on the German nuclear power plants. And before I continue with the breaking news, I wanted to mention the sponsor for this update, which is My Patriot Supply. Guys, My Patriot Supply is doing their most aggressive discount yet on their 3-month emergency food supply. And to get the deal, you got to go to preparewithNYPrepper.com. They've lowered the price of their 3-month food supply from $800 down to $500. 3 months of emergency food for $500. That is a really good deal, and it will last you 25 years because it is freeze dried, and it's all packed within 6 rugged water resistant buckets. So you have all that food in a small package. You can store that pretty much anywhere. And you can also take it with you. If you have to bug out, you can throw that in your vehicle easily. So use the link preparewithNYPrepper.com to get $300 off the My Patriot Supply 3-month emergency food supply, $500 for it. Also, they have free shipping and handling included. In addition to the 3-month supply, they also have a general store. And to get to their general store, you got to scroll all the way down to the bottom, and you'll see the My Patriot Supply logo at the very bottom of the page. You click on that, and it'll take you to their general store, and they have all kinds of discounts. And to get the deals, you got to use my link, preparewithNYPrepper.com, and I'll leave the link in the description below this video. And at about 10 p.m. Eastern Time last night, Russia sent out 11 Tu-95 Bear bombers into the air towards either Ukraine or other launch positions in the Caspian Sea. All of Ukraine went under an air raid alert. At about 11 p.m. Eastern Time, Russia had at least 4 Caliber missile launch vehicles in the Black Sea, which left port from the Krasnodar Krai, 1 submarine, 2 frigates, 1 missile boat. This setup allowed for a potential salvo of up to 24 Caliber missiles. At the same hour, Russia had already launched at least 55 Shahed drones over Ukraine. In addition to the Tu-95s and the naval assets, Russia also prepared at least 9 MiG-31Ks for sorties, and those are the ones that carry the hypersonic missiles. A total inventory of aerial assets used for the strikes included 6 Tu-22 bombers, 9 MiG-31Ks, 11 Tu-95s, and 2 Sukhoi 57s, and 4 naval vessels carrying Caliber missiles, and then the drones on top of that. Explosions began in Ukraine's Kryvyi Rih from Iskander missiles. Then a significant number of cruise missiles made their presence known as they made radical maneuvers to avoid air defenses. Reports almost immediately began coming in about at least 4 huge explosions in and around Kyiv. Next came reports of multiple explosions in Kharkiv. What no one knew was that in addition to the firepower outlined above, Russia also sortied over 100 Garan-2 kamikaze drones at targets on the territory of Ukraine. Explosions were heard and seen almost everywhere. In addition to Kyiv and Kharkiv, there were also multiple strikes against Dnipropetrovsk, Khmelnytsky, Lviv, Vinnytsia, and Odessa. Then Russia's MiG-31s flew to refuel, reload, and then took off again, launching more strikes. Kh-101 cruise missiles began hitting targets, and 3 more explosions thundered near Zhulani Airport in Kiev. When all was said and done, the following places were all struck by Russia last night: the Mirgorod district, Kharkiv, Kryvyi Rih, Kremenchuk, Vinnytsia, Kropyvnytsky, Khmelnytsky, Zaporizhia, Dnipropetrovsk, Brovary, Chernihiv, Kiev, Mykolaiv, Lutsk, Odessa, Ivano-Frankivsk, Poltava, Zhytomyr, and Lviv. Also Rivne, Ternopil, Volyn, and Drohobych. So every city basically in Ukraine got hit. And Zelensky commented about the strike. He said it was one of the largest attacks, a combined one, more than 100 missiles of various types and about 100 Shahed drones. The strike targeted critical civilian infrastructure. Unfortunately, there are fatalities and there are dozens of wounded people, a lot of damage in power infrastructure. Putin is a sick animal, but he can only do what the world allows him to do. Russia uses its own weapons of all types, as well as Shaheeds and ballistic missiles from North Korea. The U.S., Britain, France, and other partners have the power to stop this terror. Tough decisions are needed. So Zelensky calling Putin a sick animal. And the Russian Ministry of Defense reported that a part of the electrical power infrastructure, it has also attacked natural gas transportation systems in Lviv, Ivano-Frankivsk, and Kharkiv regions. So they hit natural gas supplies as well. And the Director General of the IAEA says that he's going to be personally leading tomorrow's mission to the Kursk nuclear power plant. Okay, so tomorrow, the Director General of the IAEA will be going to the Kursk nuclear power plant and leading a mission there. And Putin's press service commented on Kursk. They said such hostile actions cannot be left without a response. The topic of negotiations with Ukraine has pretty much lost its relevance, and Putin is receiving regular updates from the field. And the founder and CEO of Telegram, Pavel Durov, a Russian citizen, was charged with 12 criminal counts, mainly due to alleged complicity in various illegal activities which took place on Telegram. He was arrested in France, and the Polish president said, in total, we have given Ukraine almost 400 tanks. If we take into account only various types of combat vehicles, we have given almost 1,000 pieces of heavy equipment, starting with T-72s, PT-91s, Leopards, through various types of armored personnel carriers and infantry fighting vehicles, Rosomaks, Krabs, rocket launchers, which we still had in stock, 10 MiG-29s, and 10 helicopters. So Poland giving a massive amount of equipment to Ukraine since this war started. And a Ukrainian drone hit a skyscraper in Saratov, Russia, and more than 150 soldiers from Pennsylvania National Guard's 56th Stryker Brigade Combat Team were honored during a deployment ceremony on Wednesday at Strickler Field in Fort Indiantown Gap in Pennsylvania. They will deploy to Germany for a year to support the Joint Multinational Training Group Ukraine, aiding the 7th Army Training Command with its mission of helping Ukraine defend itself. So the Pennsylvania National Guard is sending a group of soldiers to train Ukrainians on how to use strikers, probably, because the Pennsylvania National Guard has a lot of strikers. They have a lot of them, and they're very good with those strikers. And the head of the office of the president of Ukraine, Andriy Yermak, warned Russia, saying that the desire to destroy our energy industry will cost the Russians dearly, their infrastructure. Want to just show you guys some more flight paths from last night. So we had a U.S. Air Force Combat Sentinel plane fly into the Baltics and into Finland. This is extremely unusual. The U.S. Air Force only has 2 Combat Sentinels, and these planes provide intelligence information directly to the president and the top generals. So if one of these planes is airborne somewhere, it means something very serious is going on. And we also had some reconnaissance activity in the North Sea and near Iceland. Here you can see a P-8 Poseidon subhunter operated by the U.S. Navy flying just south of Iceland, flying really, really low, scanning the area here for subs. Maybe there was a Russian sub here off the coast of Iceland near Reykjavik. And then we also had a German Navy reconnaissance plane flying into the North Sea and into the Norwegian Sea here. Very, very interesting. And we also had a NATO reconnaissance plane looping in Lithuania last night. And we had a P-8 Poseidon subhunter fly near the Kola Peninsula in Russia, which is where Russia keeps most of their nuclear-armed submarines over here in Murmansk. So that's pretty serious. We also had a NATO AWACS plane looping near Cyprus in southern Turkey here last night. So obviously this is to keep an eye on the situation in Israel and help Israel locate any aerial objects that may be going towards them, because Israel is still under a 48-hour state of emergency. And I just want to show you guys some footage from this missile strike last night. Some crazy footage here. So here we have a video showing a Ukrainian soldier shooting down a cruise missile with a machine gun near Lviv. Check this out. This is really cool.
Хуярь, хуярь! Збив!
Literally shooting down a cruise missile with a machine gun. Looks like a 50 caliber machine gun and a pickup truck. I mean, that is just badass.
Збив! Збив!
Let's see that one more time.
Хуярь, хуярь!
Wow.
Збив! Збив!
That is just absolutely badass. And then here we have some footage coming from the capital region of Ukraine. The Russians hit one of the dams just north of Kyiv, the Kyiv Reservoir Dam. They were probably trying to blow it up, but they didn't succeed. But one of the missiles hit the dam itself, and then one landed in the reservoir. Check this out. This is the missile that landed in the reservoir. Absolutely crazy.
Ось все, пошла, диви. Єбать його в рот.
So it just hit the reservoir itself.
Пізда. Єбать його, сука, в жопу.
He's just cursing. He's saying pizda, yebat. That's like really bad curse words.
Пізда. Ось все, пошла, диви. Єбать його в рот.
So pretty close call there for these guys. And then here you can actually see the impact on the dam. You can see the dam right here and where the missile hit. It didn't destroy the dam or affect the structural integrity, it looks like. Looks like they might have been trying to hit the hydroelectric station here. Maybe not destroy the dam itself, but destroy the hydro plant, because they use the hydroelectric plants to make power. So maybe that was the target. I'm not totally sure, but you can see this building here on fire. That looks like it could be the hydroelectric station of the Kyiv Reservoir. You can see the big power lines there and some substation over here. But that's the latest breaking news that I have. I might be back later on tonight with another update. I will be in and out of my 24/7 stream this evening and later tonight, so you can catch me there. If not, I'll see you on the next one. Take care, God bless, and don't forget the 3 Ps. Prepare, practice, and persevere.